everyone, I'm Allie Buchman with the Potomac Bead Company, and today for you I am going to do this bracelet featuring our Ava beads and some other two-hold beads, the Diamond Duo and the Super Duo, which many of you may have on hand. I'm calling this bracelet the Phoenix bracelet. It has kind of a little bit of an Arizona patchwork. I'll show you kind of a couple different versions that you can do to it, but it is going to be using our Ava beads. If you need any of these materials to do the bracelet, we'll do a little drop down on the left hand side here that you can click on those links and purchase from me online, or you can make a list, take to your local Potomac Bead Company and get from them as well. The other thing, if you don't have the little pop-ups, sometimes if you're on a mobile they won't come up, or some different computers will block those little pop-ups. Underneath the video there's a little show more button. You can hit the show more button and that will show you more, which will show the links to all of the different materials that are used in this bracelet. So for the design, we are going to be using, like I said, the Diamond Duos. There's jet bronze here, Diamond Duos that were used. I'm going to be using one of the pretty newer ones that we have. This is the metallic aqua color that you'll be using in the bracelet. And then it is kind of highlighted with some Diamond Duos and some Super Duos. The Super Duos are going to be used as the connecting item, and then the Diamond Duos kind of work as the focal. For the Diamond Duos here is turquoise, or I'm sorry, is the jade color, that dark travertine. I'm going to be using the pastel Montana of the Diamond Duo. In addition to the Diamond Duos, again, there are Super Duos. So the Super Duos we're going to use are the crystal dark travertine color. We're also going to use that crystal Picasso cup button to kind of mirror that. Unlike this one where the sides are kept empty, I'm going to do another version showing you how to put a bunch of the 15 O's, which are used on the sides of the Diamond Duos, as well as inside here in these Super Duos, putting those along the edge as well, just to decorate the edge to give you a different look and different options. For the 15 O seed bead, we're using the Miyuki Duracoat Galvanized Champagne 15 O for the design. Other things that you may want to have handy when you're working with this bracelet, or anytime that you're working with thread and needle, are a cord cutter or a thread burner. I'm using the Wildfire cord cutter. And I also have a needle nose pliers handy. That's going to help to flatten out the end of the thread if we do get it kind of balled up along the end of the thread. And that will give us an opportunity to thread the needle a little bit easier. I also have some super new glue. If you do want to kind of glue down the ends of your thread, that's up to you. The thread of choice that I am using is Wildfire beading thread, and I have white colored sitting here in the 0.006. The other thing that we are going to need, I know some of you grumble about this, but it is a 2 needle project. So you'll have 2 of your size 10 beading needles that we'll work with. The nice thing with a 2 needle project, and this bracelet is actually just back and down. We're not kind of going multiple directions. You'll be able to put on your clasp right away. To get started, I am going to make piles of everything. Get about 5 feet of beading thread with a needle on each end. So to start the Phoenix bracelet, we have 2 needles going on here, and that's on 1 piece of thread. You always want to make sure too that your thread ends are about the same length, so you don't end up with more than a lot of thread on one side and one knot on the other side. To get started with this, like I said, it is a 2 needle project that we're going to be going down the actual project and not coming back. If you want to, you could come back and kind of connect into the sides. That's up to you. But that being said, I'm going to want to reinforce my clasp as I do it. To do so and to put on your clasp, if you have a regular wire clasp, you'll pick up your thread protector and put that on. I'm going to be using 3 of my 15 O's and put that on one of my needle. Next, pick up your cup button, if you're using a cup button, and you're going to put 1 needle through each end of the cup button, going in the bowl side first, coming out the base. Let that fall back to the base of the thread, and those 3 little seed beads are just going to decorate the end of that cup button. Next, to reinforce this clasp, I'm going to add 3 seed beads, 3 of my 15 O's again, onto my right needle, go back up through the cup button, and go through those 3 15-0s that are already in the middle of the button. Then go back down the button and knot through the seed beads. So the seed beads along the back and actually along the front are just going to be used to hide the thread, basically. So there's thread going through there. Coming out then, we're going to get into our design. We're going to just start our design here at one of our diamond duos with our super duo pattern, and then we'll pick up the diamond duo pattern and alternate it rather. To get started, put on 3 of your 15-0s on both the right needle and the left needle. And I do this a lot and work with 2 needles a lot. So don't be sad if you have to kind of put one down and just work from one hand and one at a time. Once you have those 3 on either side, we're going to put on our first of our Ava beads. So we're going to kind of ignore these diamond duos here or think that we're starting right at the end here. We're going to put on an Ava and we're going to put it on so that it's shaped like a V. I'm going to take 1 needle going from the right hand side out the Ava towards the left hand side. With the left needle, go in on the left hand side and out towards the right hand side. When I pull that down then, that V is going to sit right between those seed beads. If you have a clasp on that you don't want to sit as close to the last of your Ava beads, you can use a couple more beads before actually putting on your Ava, so you could use 5 or 6 if you wanted to do with that. Now you're coming out that first hole of the Ava bead, and we'll get ready to come down the sides and add in our first of our super duos. When I'm on the sides of the Ava bead, I'm going to add 5 15-0s to decorate. The needle that's coming out the right hand side will pick up 5 15s, and I'm going to go through that same right hand hole, going through the second hole of the Ava bead. So staying on the right side, but this time my thread's going to come out in the middle. You can see those 5 15s just kind of decorate the outside. If you don't want any seed beads decorating the outside, you just simply go through with your thread. However, you will see thread exposed on the sides. On the left-hand side now, 5 of my 15-0s go on, and I'm going through the left-hand hole of the Ava bead, coming out the middle between the 2. Give a tight little pull, and then both threads should be coming out in the middle of that V shape of the Ava bead. At this point, we get to add our super duos in. So our super duos will be added in a group here of 5 in the middle, along with some diamond duos on the sides. To add the super duos, you can pick up the right needle or the left needle, that's up to you. And I'm just going to add a super duo, 15-0, and a super duo on my right hand needle. Let that drop down next to the Ava bead. With the left hand needle then, I'm going to go through the opposite direction, going through that super duo, 15 super duo. When I pull tightly then, those are going to sit right in between the Ava bead. As I come out the sides of the super duo, I'm going to reverse the needle and thread. So currently the needle and thread are coming out the bottom hole of that super duo. I'm going to take the needle that's on the right hand side, go through the top hole of the super duo on the right hand side towards the middle of the project. Grab another super duo on my needle, and then continue that needle towards the left hand side, coming out the left hand of that project. At the same time that I'm coming out of the left-hand side of that super duo, I'm going to add one of my diamond duos. The diamond duos do have a top and a bottom. I'm going to make sure that the top is showing that little pointed side, and I'm going from left to right of that top. And I'm going to let that sit right along the edge of my project. On the opposite side here now, I'm going to take my left needle, go back up through that super duo, go also through that first hole of the middle super duo that we added, and then also through the super duo on the left. So we're basically doing a mirrored effect. Generally speaking, whenever you're working with two needles, whatever you do with the left-hand needle, you're also going to do with the right. As I come out this side of the super duo here, I'm going to go ahead and put on my diamond duo on the right-hand side. Again, I want to make sure that that point is up, and I'm going to go through the bottom hole, from left to right. Now I have thread coming out the bottom hole of the diamond duo, one on the right-hand side and one on the left-hand side. To do my next step, I'm going to add 4 15-0s onto my thread. And this is on my right-hand side. And I'm going to go through the top hole of that same diamond duo that my thread is coming out of. So I'm working towards the middle. Those 4 little seed beads are going to decorate the sides of the diamond duo. If you want, you can add a 5th in, that's kind of up to you. When I'm out the middle of the diamond duo here, I'm going to add in one of my super duos, or another super duo, go through the top hole of the central super duo, and add one more super duo. And then just let that thread and needle kind of hang out there. With the left-hand needle now, and I'm just going to kind of keep that left-hand needle in place. With the left-hand needle, I'm going to add my 4 or 5 15s, it's kind of up to you. Go through the diamond duo on the left-hand side, go through the super duo that you just added, the middle super duo, and then the other super duo that you added, and out. Give a nice little tight tug. So you can see now that those diamond duos are kind of sitting right on that edge, and your thread is coming out the super duos. With my thread coming out the super duos then, the needle that's on the right and left here, I'll kind of make sure that the thread goes down to the right and the left so it doesn't get tangled. And my thread that's coming out on the right-hand side of that super duo is going to go through the top right-hand super duo hole. Oops, excuse me. Add a 15-0 seed bead. And then we're going to go through the left-hand hole of the left super duo top hole. With my needle on the left, picking it up, it's going to go through from the left side through that super duo, 15-0 super duo, and come out on the right side. And you can see that nice kind of super duo pattern in between that almost is a little bit kind of pulled in the middle. When I'm out that super duo then, I get to add the next of my Ava beads. It's kind of exciting, I get to add another Ava. When I add the other Ava, I'm going to add it right like I did, basically opposite. So this time it's going to point up like an A for the A of the Ava rather than the V. Needle that's on the right-hand side is going to go through that base hole of the Ava towards the outside. So it's going kind of from the center towards the outside. And the needle that's on the left is going to go from the center towards the outside. Now, if you wanted to, you could continue this pattern over and over and over again, changing up colors if you want to. That's kind of up to you. To progress from the pattern, one pattern to the next, we're going to add some diamond duos on the sides of 2 Ava beads. After we do that, I'm actually going to switch to doing the diamond duos in the middle. So it's going to constantly switch between the super duos and the diamond duos, kind of going in and varying it. To get to the next point, I'm going to add my 5 15-0s up the sides of the Avas and take my needle that's on the right-hand side, go through the top hole of the Ava towards the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, mirror that, adding in your 5 15-0s. And if you want to, especially if you're using Toho, they're a little bit bigger, you may just want to use 4. of your 15s, and you're going to go from left to right. So now the threads are sitting on either side of the diamond duo, and their backs separated, one to the left side and one to the right side. Untangling my threads kind of off screen here, which you're going to have to do every time you switch from right to left. We're going to get ready to add our next of our Ava beads. On the side decorating the next Ava bead is going to be a diamond duo. To put in the diamond duos, we're going to put a diamond duo with the needle on the right hand side, going through a diamond duo, again bottom hole of the diamond duo, going from the left side of the diamond duo out towards the right side. When I'm out the right side, and while I have the right needle in hand, go ahead and add 4 of your 15-ohs, go through the diamond duo, and through the bottom hole of the next Ava bead. So you're kind of looping it around the side here. And pull that in. On the left needle now, sticking down that needle that was the right needle that's hanging out on the left, I'm going to do the same thing. Adding this diamond duo, I'm going from the bottom hole from the right towards the left. Adding in 4 of my 15-ohs. I'm then going to reverse the thread, go through the top hole of that same diamond duo, and out the Ava bead. When I pull then, those diamond duos will sit just hugging the Ava bead. As I come out the Ava to progress to my next point of progression, I am going to decorate the sides of the Ava bead. Again, if you're using Toho brand seed beads 4, when you're using Mayuki, because they're a little bit smaller, you can use 5 15-ohs. Take the needle on the right-hand side from the top hole or the bottom hole, depending on which way you're looking at the A or the V, and go into the top hole of the Ava. Give a nice tight pull and mirror it on the left-hand side. That's going to bring our thread out right towards the center or between the middle of the Ava beads. And we're going to let it sit there for a second while I explain and we get ready to add our next little design component. If you don't want to add the next design component, here's where you would go in and start over with your super duos. So you just simply start over, adding the 2 super duos here with the 15-oh in the middle, crossing through the second hole and adding the seed bead, and kind of start over this whole little long clip. What we're going to do is add in another diamond duo in the middle here to change up the design for this Phoenix bracelet, and then we're going to add some diamond duos on the side. So in the middle now, we're going to get ready to add a diamond duo. At the same time when we add the diamond duo, we're actually going to add some diamond duos on the outside of the pattern as well to get that nice kind of Phoenix design that we're going for. And then the Ava is going to sit right on top of those diamond duos. To start that pattern, and to get kind of that nice little airy X in the middle, with our left needle and our right needle, we're going to pick up a 15-oh seed bead. We're then going to cross through the bottom hole of that central diamond duo that we're going through. The right needle is going to go from the right to the left, and the left needle is going to go from the left to the right through the same hole of the diamond duo. So we're only using 1 hole so far, just like we've been doing with the rest of the bracelet. You do want to make sure that the diamond duo is sitting correctly, and then that diamond duo edge is facing up. The needle that is on the right now is coming out the diamond duo. I'm going to continue to take it through the 15-oh that we just put on and out the Ava bead. On the left-hand side, because it's 2 needles, we get to repeat the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and go through the 15-oh and the Ava bead and out the side. Once we're out the side now, we're going to add in the next of our diamond duos. Again, making sure that the diamond duos are sitting with their little ridges or their little bumps sitting up. I'm going to go through the diamond duo on the right hand side, from the left side towards the right side coming out. And then on the left side, grab another diamond duo and go from the right side out towards the left. When I'm on the side then, just to decorate like we've been doing, on go 4 or 5 of my 15-0s. And I'm going to reverse through the diamond duo going from the bottom hole to the top hole. I'm doing this with both needles. Once I'm through those exterior diamond duos, and I'm just through the exterior diamond duos, it's time to grab the next Ava bead. The Ava bead with this needle here, that's thread that's on the left-hand side, I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the Ava when it's in its A form and have my thread come out the center. Likewise, the thread on the right-hand side is going to go through the right-hand hole of the Ava bead and come out through the center. Give a nice little pull, and that'll pull the Ava bead down right on top of that middle diamond duo. Once I'm pulled down right on top of that middle diamond duo, we're going to add a 15-0 on both the right and the left needle, and then go through the diamond duo that's already there. So it doesn't matter which one you pick up first, right or left needle. We're going to add a 15-0, push that down next to the project, and then I'm going to take this left-hand needle, go through the diamond duo from the left-hand side and towards the right. Getting that one out of the way. Add another 15-0 and exit out the right-hand side of the Ava bead. Making sure not to tangle your thread. So you can see I took the thread the whole way from the left side over to the right and added the 15-0s between the Ava and the diamond duo. The right-hand thread here, we're going to go through those 15s that we just added, the diamond duo, the 15, and then the Ava bead. And out. Give it a nice tight pull. And we have our little phoenix design started. So it's really fun because it's a different components that if you like this look, you can just continue with this, not doing the super duos at all. If you like the super duos and you don't like this look, you can just continue with the super duos. On the sides then, to get back to adding super duos, we get to repeat everything, adding in 5 15-0s, going through then from the bottom hole to the upper hole of that Ava bead. Left side now, same deal, 5 beads, go through from the left to the right. When I'm out that, we're back to the point where we need to add our diamond duos on the sides. Our diamond duos get added on the sides, and our next Ava bead gets added in as well. So again, the right-hand side, just to add the little connector, I'm going to take the diamond duo through the bottom hole from the left towards the right, add my 4 15-0s. 4 15-0s get added, go through the top hole of that diamond duo, and also pick up the point of the next Ava bead. Pull nice and tight. Same thing now with the left-hand side. So the left-hand side, the diamond duo goes on from the right side to the left side of that diamond duo first hole. Add on 4 15-0s. Then go through the top hole of the diamond duo, as well as, oops, stuff flip on me, top hole of the diamond duo, as well as the Ava bead through that bottom hole also. If it wants to let me. So the threads are crossing, just like they've been, through the bottom hole of that Ava bead. Da-da-da. And we're ready for our next start. So whether or not, again, you want to go back to super duos, that's up to you, or you can go back in and do the diamond duos. I'm going to alternate, so I'm going back to my super duos and getting ready to add them in. Again, anytime I'm on the sides of the diamond duo, or sides of the Ava rather, I'm going to add in my 5 beads and then go from the bottom hole to the top hole when it's the V of the Ava. Same thing on the other side, and then we go ahead and we add our super duos right in the middle. So literally now we just get repetitive. If you need to, you can slide me back, pause me, or move it back to the beginning of the video where we went in and did these super duos. Or like I said, this is kind of like that piecemeal bracelet. You can actually decide that you want to go ahead and just continue on with just diamond duos. Up to you. I like the look of mixed. It'd be fun to see one of each bracelet and then also one mixed as well. So continue on now. Go ahead and put on your super duo, 11 super duo, crisscross through, then go from the top to the bottom and continue on with this same pattern of the super duo, then diamond duo, super duo, diamond duo. So once you're at the end of your Phoenix bracelet, depending on kind of where you start and where you finish, I ended up starting with a super duo, and by the time I got to the end, I did 3 sets of my super duo and 3 sets of my diamond duo. If you do all the same, obviously you're going to have different sets and different numbers of those. Also, if you do want to start, you can actually start with your diamond duos here, and then if that makes you happier to end the pattern on the same note, you can do that as well. So it's kind of up to you. But I'm ending with it here, and I have my last of my Ava beads put on my needle and my 5 beads on the side. What I'm going to do now is actually go in and make a loop that's big enough for my cup button to fit through. With my beads, I have 3 of my 11O seed bead, or my 15O seed beads on my needle. That's going to bring me to right about the top of the Ava bead. After that, I'm actually going to use one of my super duos. And then I'm going to do a collection of my 15Os, about 32 approximately. We're going to do a bunch of our 15Os here, adding them onto our needle, cleaning up the bead mat and using a bunch of them. If you're a person that is doing a clasp, here's where you would do your wire or thread protector and actually do your clasp there as well. It's in the same fashion. So what I'm going to do is just keep adding my 15Os here in that champagne color, which is one of my favorite of the 15O colors. You do use a fair amount of the 15Os when you're doing this bracelet. So I'm going to keep going a little bit more. And I could have used a diamond duo here at the end too. It's kind of up to you. Because I have the super duos farther back, I decided to do a super duo. That was my logic and thinking. But again, you may not have any super duos in yours, so it's kind of up to you. Once you have the loop big enough and enough seed beads on that it'll go comfortably through your cup button, but not too big that it's going to fall off, we're going to go back through the super duo down the opposite side. And that's going to make my loop. On the opposite side then of that super duo, I'm going to add 3 of my seed beads again. Go into my Ava bead through the top hole of the A. And I'm going to reinforce that loop, going back through all that thread again. I'm just letting my thread and needle on the other side hang out there at the base of one of the Avas because I'm going to tie off down there. That way when I tie off my thread down there, my thread needle, or my knot won't be right at the end. I was going to say the knot is not at the end, but won't be at the end. So I'm going back through here and reinforcing all those seed beads If you do want to go through a third time, I know some people are really particular about how many times they reinforce the clasp. You will need to throw on there a size 11 or 12 needle, because the 10 going through 3 times through especially a Duracoat 15-0 Mikey, it gets a little tight. Once I come out the other side here, I'm going to go down through the 3 seed beads that I have on the side of the Ava. Go through the top hole of the Ava bead, add my 5 seed beads down the side, and then, like magic, I get to tie a knot. I'm just gonna take your needles off the ends and just literally tie a knot. If you notice, my thread is a little bit tinted red. That travertine coating can do that, whether or not you're using jade travertine or crystal travertine. The travertine coating has a little bit of a red cast to it, so it might make your thread just a tiny bit red. Don't worry about it. I'm going to simply tie and tie again and tie again. If you want to, you could go back through the project, coming back down with both needles and kind of connect all of these seed beads. That would make it more connected rather than kind of getting that Phoenix, that Indian Navajo look to it. That's up to you. What I'm going to do is bring that knot to the back of the project where the diamond duos are flat, grab my thread burner, burn down those edges, and then burn down the ends of the thread, balling them up so the knot will not come apart. At that point, you are done with your Phoenix bracelet. And the cool thing is, like I said, you really could go make it look completely different. You can do super duos in different colors. You can do all super duos. You could do just all diamond duos. It's really up to you. I liked the play on kind of the difference of the patterns working together with them and kind of having those match. I have a small wrist, so if you're doing the same pattern that I did, it will get you about a standard wrist size, about a 7 1/4. It's a little bit big on me because I have a smaller wrist. But I love the design. I wanted to show you guys how to end on the opposite design. If I wanted to, I could have ended mine right at the end of that super duo. But realistically, most of you are going to have the bracelet width to do the exact same pattern that I did. Again, if you need any of these materials to do this Phoenix bracelet, you can go back to the beginning of the video, to the little drop down menu, or if you don't have that little drop down menu or you're at the end of the video and you just want to stay there, underneath the video there's always the description box that has what the video is about. You can click the little show more button there, and that'll give you a link then that you can copy links to go to your local Potomac Bead Company store, or you can order from me online. As always, you can stay connected with us on our website, potomacbeads.com. You can also stay connected with us on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. You can also join our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Interact with a great group of people that love to make jewelry and really artwork. This work that people do is kind of spectacular on there, but it's a great group of people that you can interact with. It's like a forum that you can ask questions and get answers to almost immediately. So it's almost like having a beading buddy kind of sitting right across from the table from you. As always, everyone, have fun making, enjoy what you're doing. If you get a chance to get some of our Ava beads, have fun playing around with those as well, and have fun. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everybody.